Hello, I'm Cass. Welcome back to a new reading vlog. I'm quite excited for this vlog, but I feel like I need to address that this was filmed all the way back in November. However, you're not seeing this until like the new year. If all is going well, I should be training to become a flight attendant. So yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about my TBR. I just thought I'd give that notice in case you were like, you've read all of these books already. First we have Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco, as well as Capturing the Devil by Carrie Maniscalco. These are two books that I really want to finish before the end of the year. They're on my 2023 TBR. And we're following Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell, their little romance, as well as the fact that they're doing some murder mystery solving. We're going to America in Escaping from Houdini, and I am quite excited because it seems like an interesting setting for our two characters. The next book that I want to get to is A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. I have been telling myself that I need to finish the Elements of Cadence duology, and yet here we are and I still have not finished it. I plan on borrowing the audiobook off of Libby, that way I can multitask, because I really liked the narrator for A River Enchanted. I just really want to know what goes down in this book, but for some reason I have just put it off for so long, and my library book is due really soon as well, so that's also another reason why I want to get to it so soon. And then the last book I have is Namesake by Adrienne Young. This is the second book after Fable, and it's a book that takes place on a boat, and we all know how I feel about books on boats. I'm really excited to finish up this duology. If I enjoy it, I also have the novel Saint, which I think is about the character Saint, believe it or not. Regardless, I am quite excited to figure out what goes down in this duology, see if I actually like it or not. And yeah, it's just a really quick read, at least the first one was, so I'll probably start with this novel if I get some reading done today. So here's a look at my TBR for this video. It is kind of jam-packed, especially with the first three books that I have here. But today and tomorrow I'm actually going to be hanging out with Lexi because she's home for Thanksgiving break, and I'm so excited because I feel like I haven't seen her in forever, even though I literally saw her a couple months back, but I miss her a lot. So I'm really excited. We're going to the Full Cup. We'll probably get some reading done, maybe some book shopping. We haven't really planned what we're doing, but I'm sure it's gonna be a fun time. I'll update you later. It is later now. I still have Lexi here.
Hello.
She's mildly out of slightly out of frame. I don't know why I said mildly out of frame. I did finally make some progress on Namesake. I'm like 92 pages in and I'm not bored, but I'm definitely bored. We ended on kind of a big cliffhanger and then the book opens up and it's just her on another boat, which I love, but nothing's being explained. And there's like this mystery element to where she's at and no answers have been given. We have a vague idea of events that might transpire and then we have vague notions of characters not being who they say they are. I have no idea where they're going with this, but it's an easy read, very quick. I didn't really read it for that long, but at least I made some progress. Also, we did a bad thing. We went to Target because we were at the coffee shop and someone said that Target was having buy 2 books, get 1 free. Honestly, they could have had that set up in a white van and us little bookish people would be like, yep, I'm getting in that van. 2 for 1, say less. So I was trying to have some self-restraint because the Target selection wasn't actually that good. I wasn't that impressed with the selection at Target, but I came across this book called Big Panda and Tiny Dragon. And it's so cute. It's literally like a picture book essentially about friendship and traveling, and the art is just so pretty that I couldn't say no to this. It is simply adorable and I can't wait to sit down and pick this up because I just can't get over it. Like, look at the little dragon and it's so pretty. I'm kind of obsessed. Also, I don't know if it'll show up, but stinking Target stupid ass sticker damaged the front cover of this, which makes me a little upset, but what can you do? I picked up The Narrow Road Between Desires by Patrick Rothfuss. This is a rewrite of The Lightning Tree / a new book by Patrick Rothfuss. I think he just extended the book to be a little bit longer and it's illustrated. It's got some pretty ass pictures in here. Oh, that's a good one. Look at that. I had this on my 2024 TBR, so I knew I would eventually be picking this up, and I decided why not snatch it up now. And then the last book, Lexi and I literally walked around Target for probably like half an hour maybe? A while. Just trying to pick out our 3rd books because we're like, okay, here are the 2 that we really want, but now, what do we choose? I ended up picking up The Legacy of Yang Chen by F.C. Yi. This is the 4th book in the Avatar: The Last Airbender series. I almost feel like this series is like 2 parts already because we have the story following Kyoshi, the rise of Kyoshi, and then the shadow of Kyoshi, and then we have the dawn of Yang Chen, and then the legacy of Yang Chen. So I don't know if we're getting a new Avatar in this book, but I know I will eventually read this. I just don't know when. I am meeting a couple Avatar voice actors this upcoming Sunday, so maybe that will inspire me to pick it. Probably not. Let's be honest. I have too many books to get to. Those are probably more of like a 2024 type beats, but at least I have it now. Lexi and I are done for the day though. I was gonna say we've done homework. Lexi has done some homework. I did some reading and we're gonna relax, watch some Ruby, drink some wine. I will, I suppose, update you when I have another reading update. Hello, it is a couple days later and I do have a bit of a reading update for you. I did finish Namesake and I didn't give any updates on this book because it was so boring on so many levels. I gave it a low 3-star, basically like a 2.75, I would say. I just felt like every single character in this book was so bland and so boring. And the romance that is a part of this book drives some characters to make really stupid decisions, which typically I'm a sucker for. I'm like, yes, you do that dumb decision for the one you love. Yet in this book, I felt like the chemistry was not there and I couldn't really connect to any of the characters or care about what they were doing and who they were trying to save because everyone was just so flat. And this book is the second book in the duology, so I really thought that we're developing the characters a little bit more, and yet we barely get to see some of the characters as well that a lot of characters are drawing their actions off of, and it was not good. I was really bored. I did really want to DNF it as well. I understand why people like this book, it just wasn't for me, even though they were on a boat. My first boat ship disappointment. And I know I had mentioned my TBR was like the rest of the Carrie Maniscalco series that I was reading and Fire Endless, and I still want to get to those. However, I did a thing. I did a thing, and that thing was ditching my entire TBR and picking up The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. If you don't know, I really love The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear, and last year it took me 10 months to read this book. Basically, I started it early February, finished it late or early December. I didn't want a repeat of that happening this year, so I had just avoided picking it up since like January. However, I was sitting in bed and I had watched like a video essay about Book Talk and BookTube, and it just made me want to ditch my entire TBR and pick up what I really wanted to read, which was this. I have already made it to page 222. I didn't realize I'd read that far already, but I've been annotating it a little bit as well, just show off a little bit of my tabs. There's no real system with my tabs because I just ran out of yellow tabs, so I switched them to green, and then I have a couple other just whatever. I just underline lines that I like and throw a tab on there if it makes me laugh. They're usually lighter colors, and if I love it, it's usually like a red shade. It has been such a delight, and I have zero regrets over picking up this book. It's gonna take me a while to finish it though, but I've been slowly picking at it. I just didn't realize how far I'd already gotten into it. This book is just under 1,000 pages, so it's kind of a chunker. So sorry for the pivot in the TBR plans, but you know, I am a mood reader. That's it. That's my justification. I did want to explain why I'm like dressed like a little businesswoman over here. I had actually just performed at Anime Dallas. Here's the little pass that I got. The 2 times that I've been to Anime Dallas, I've gotten in for free. My dance team performed this year, which is why I got in for free. And then last year I got in for free because my side neighbors gave me and my roommate tickets because they couldn't go anymore. I don't exactly like love anime conventions. However, there were the Avatar: The Last Airbender voice actors for Suki, Ty Lee, and Mei, and I got their signatures. Last year I met Jesse, who's the voice actor of Toph. So there's my little signature like art sheet coming along, and I love it so much. It's so cool. Even though I'm not big on cons, that was really cool to meet the voice actors. And I also stopped by the artist alley because, you know, of course, and I wanted to show off some of the stickers that I bought. I'll link both of these artists in the description. So first we have these beautiful stickers from Spirited Away. Then I bought some like Pokemon trainers of some of the games that I've played, and I thought they were just really cute. I am going to cut to show just a few clips from my very last performance with my dance group. I've been on a K-pop cover group named Hype for the past 1.5 years, and since I'm moving in January, this is my last performance. I had my last filming a couple weeks back now, and it's a little bittersweet, but I had so much fun, so we definitely ended things on a high note.
All right, for our next performance, we have Easy by WJSN. But for this performance, we have a member that is sadly leaving us to go pursue her dream. So give her a round of applause, you guys. This will be her last time performing with us. We love you, Cass. Love you so much.
in fact a few days later, but I finally have a decent reading update. I'm actually on page 589. I have just been really enjoying my time, just reading 100 pages here, 100 pages there, and just slowly going through the Wise Man's Fear. I will say I haven't annotated in like 200-ish pages, but you know, it's a little sporadic, little all over the place, but I realized that I had already annotated my mass market copy of this book, so there was really no use in me annotating it again, but I still was, whatever. Anyways, I am about halfway through one of the arcs with one of my favorite characters. We are getting some Tempe action, but this is actually when Kvothe is out hunting bandits, basically. But the arc before that with Alvaron is really interesting. I love seeing like the politics and how Kvothe kind of adapts and changes his ways in order to fit in with them. I think, have come to the conclusion that I actually like the Wise Man's Fear more, because thinking about the Name of the Wind, I don't really like when Kvothe leaves the university and that whole adventure that transpires. It's not my favorite, but when Kvothe leaves the university in this book, things are interesting, things are happening, and Tempe as a character is absolutely a delight. I love getting to see his growth and Kvothe kind of come to understand his character. They form like a very tentative friendship. I hope to finish this book within the next few days, but I'm not really holding myself to a strict deadline with this. I will say I'm not picking up any other book until I get through the Wise Man's Fear, because we don't need a repeat of what happened last year where it took me 10 months to finish it. I'm having too much fun that I really don't want to pick up anything else. I'm always in the mood to be picking this book up. We made it past the point to where I stopped last year, so we have high hopes of completing this book in under a month. I will say most of my time has actually been spent drawing this absolute masterpiece. Can you call your own work a masterpiece? I'm just really proud of this piece. It's probably my favorite piece ever. And the saddest part of this is it's a commission, so I don't get to keep it, but part of me is really happy that someone can display this in their house. I love the thought of people like displaying my art. That's such a cool thing. Like, it brings me so much joy. But the other part of me is like, but I want to display it in my house. I did make a copy, and maybe I'll like print myself a copy, but nothing beats the original. I think it's also important to note that I have started watching Drive to Survive, and that's what I was watching while I was drawing this for the most part, and I'm into Formula One now, so do with that information what you will. I'm so excited for next season, and I have like a favorite driver. I don't have a favorite team, but I have like my top 3 favorite drivers. No one cares, but I thought it'd be funny to mention it regardless. So whoops, fell down the F1 rabbit hole. Anyways, that is it for my update. Like I said, page 589. It's kind of crazy how long the book is, and yet it doesn't feel that long because every time I read it, I truly take my time to devour every single line that Rothfuss writes. I have a few like shop things to do. Like I said, I'm packing up this order. I have some other orders that I just need to send out. And the exciting thing is that my Throne of Glass matte prints should be arriving today. UPS lost them a week ago, and luckily my manufacturer sent me new prints and expedited them so I can get them hopefully released today, because with the Throne of Glass maps, I'm also releasing my 11x14 Poppy War maps, so I'll be sure to do a little unboxing when that occurs, because I'm always so excited when I get new maps in the mail. So I will update you then, or if I have a reading update, but I got so much work to do, and the days are rapidly approaching before my flight attendant training, so I'm trying to get ahead on everything and also figure out the logistics of moving, because I just realized that's going to be way more stressful and hectic and nearly impossible than I thought, because I only get 4 days after I graduate to move. How am I supposed to like find an apartment, like apartment tour, sign a lease, get all of my stuff moved from Texas to Florida in 4 days? But I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but that is later me problem. And like I said, I will update you later. I've done enough rambling. We have an exciting package that just arrived. My Throne of Glass matte prints are finally here. Long awaited. By the time you are seeing this video, they've been out for like ages, so do with that information what you will. My least favorite part about opening up orders that are like 11x14 is the unmatched number of packing peanuts that they put in here. Like, thank goodness, because you know my order's secure. But man, why are you making me dig through all of these? How much of a mess are we going to make today? Damn, this turned out so good. Look at it! I mean, I've shown y'all like the Throne of Glass print countless amounts of time. But now I have like prints to sell y'all. And I don't know if I ever showed y'all my Poppy War map, but that's the other map that I'm gonna be taking photos of and releasing today. So there's my Poppy War one. I love it. I love her. I'm so excited to get these released. I'm literally going to just release them today. I never ever do like proper drops of my products. I literally get them in, and then whenever I get around to like taking pictures, that's when I actually do my drops. However, since this was supposed to be up ages ago and it is the holiday season, we're gonna do that right now. Right this instant. Let me get cracking because it is 2 o'clock right now and I wanna get these suckers up by 3. So, ambitious, I know, but let's do it. Alrighty, it is a few days later and I have in fact finished The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. I don't have much else to add to this book in terms of like my thoughts. Like I said, this is a reread and I really took my time reading this. I think I've been reading this since, I think before December, but this is the only book that I have read so far into December and we're 11 days in now. So do with that information what you will, but that's where we're at right now with my reading. I just haven't been reading that much. One, because I was taking my time reading this, 100 pages there, 50 pages here. Like I had mentioned, I did sit down and finish the last 200 pages all in one go the other day, and that was super lovely. I really do enjoy the last group of people that Kvothe is with on his journey, the Adem people. They're very, very interesting. I love the cultural differences and just getting to know this new world. It always makes me really appreciate fantasy authors when they come up with such unique world building and dive fairly deep into the world and why the people are there and the significance of all of their unique differences. Super duper fun. I love the fairy chapter. It's just so interesting, and I know a lot of people have problems with that, but honestly I have more of a problem with like Sarah J Maas and JLA doing things like making her characters do the devil's tango in the middle of war when like people are dying. I have more problems with that than like boy like doing the tango with a fairy who's like immortal and just whimsical. I love that section. I think it's I think it's so ridiculous that it works in this fantasy setting. So I don't know. I didn't really have a problem with it. I know some people do, but like I said, I have bigger problems with other things that other authors have done. That's where I'm at. As for the rest of my reading plans for this vlog, honestly, I don't know. But I do know a few things, and that is the TBR that I set at the beginning of this video is a lie, okay? I will not be picking up Capturing the Devil or Escaping from Houdini. This isn't even the right book. This is Capturing the Devil, but I meant to hold up Escaping from Houdini, and this is clearly not it. However, the season for those books have passed. I waited too long and now I have no desire to pick them up and no desire to like force myself to read them, so I'm not going to. If next October rolls around, it's spooky season and I feel like picking up like a gothic, I don't know, they're not like gothic, but if I feel like picking up a Carrie Maniscalco series, I will finish the series. It's just not the season for those books anymore. The time has passed. And I have the same sort of problem with If Fire Endless, but that's simply because I can't get my hands on it. My library book was due. I had to return it. I had it for like a month and a half, so it was overdue. And I can't get it on Libby. I tried to get the audiobook the other day, wasn't happening. So that's where we're at right now. I did have reading sprints the other day with Katie, and I read I think 2 or 3 fairy tales into this book called Ruby Fairy Tales of Remnant. I am watching the show Ruby with my best friend, and I saw this on my sister's bookshelf and I was like, ooh, don't mind if I do. So we have this book. Nothing much to say. I really enjoy it. It really matches the vibe of the show in terms of like the writing. The main thing that I'm gonna be reading, at least in this very moment, is The Emperor of Nihonja by John Flanagan. This is book 10 of Rainbow Apprentice, aka my favorite series ever, and I stole my sister's copy off of her bookshelf when I was looking for something to read during the sprints. I am a little over 4 chapters in. I gotta find where I'm at because I read 4 chapters in and then I was reading on my phone the other day. So I'm not sure. I'm not that far in. Like max, oh wait, no, did I just find my spot? Oh, okay, not to worry. I'm not on chapter 4. I'm on chapter 5. I made some hella progress. I just haven't felt like reading lately. Not because I don't want to read, but simply because I am so busy. The days are looming ever closer before I leave. I have just so much to do before. I'm pre-filming so many videos for y'all can still have my lovely face to keep y'all company while I am training. In fact, this video is going up, I think in January or February or something like that, before you're even like seeing this video. It's kind of crazy. And I've also been trying to finish up some of my commissions. I just finished another one that I'm really proud of. And then the other day I spent 7 hours, well, over 7 hours drawing my reading journal setup for a video. And it's just been a lot. I'm really overwhelmed on top of like the holiday busyness that has been my shop as well. I keep running out of things, which is good because that means like my shop is selling things, and I'm always so grateful for people that support my shop and support me in that way. It's just really hard when I'm trying to like order everything to come in to here in time before I move, because when I move I'm still going to be trying to run my small business, which I just love to suffer, I guess. I just have worked really hard to get my Etsy listings to rank with the SEO search engine, and if I pause and take like a vacation mode, I know Etsy's gonna punish my shop, and I don't want that to happen. So we're gonna be going through flight attendant training while also running my small business, which will be so fun. Who doesn't love a good challenge? But I just have so much on my plate right now, but I'm also trying to like enjoy the final days with my friends while I'm in Texas before I move. And the logistics of moving, I'm moving across the country away from all of my family, so it's a lot and I'm very overwhelmed. It kind of checks out that I don't feel like reading because I just sit down to read and can't, because I'm like, ooh, I should be doing things. But I'll probably finish up this book and then I'll let you know what else I end up picking up. Obviously when I pick it up, this vlog is probably gonna be a little bit shorter simply because I don't have time to film much else at this point. So there's that. I don't know what other book I'll be reading, but probably something short or like rereading something. I just need guaranteed comfort. I just can't focus on trying to escape into books because I'm just so overwhelmed with real life. So the escapism is not working, which sucks. But I have rambled long enough on this update, but that's kind of where my headspace is. I will read a little bit into this book and give you maybe a little update or two. Like I said, this is book 10, so there's not much I can discuss in detail. However, you're still getting the Ranger's Apprentice content that you clearly so want. So I'm gonna do some reading and I will get back to you with an update, maybe like an hour before I start feeling like I need to do stuff. So yes. It is obviously the next day. I actually fell asleep really early while reading, but I did make it up to chapter 14. Now, something about this book that has never annoyed me before in all of my many rereads until now is the fact that where they're at in Nihonja, it's not on the map. Like, they are this way on the map and it simply does not exist. And that has I've never noticed that because I don't typically refer to the map because I kind of have it memorized for the most part and I never really care that much, but I was looking for it. It's not even on here. I low-key want to like message the publishers being like, hey, is there like an extended map? Because I want to know where they're at. And it's not on here. We are following our characters obviously in Nihonja. We're following two groups of characters right now. And I really love the character that we're following in Nihonja, and the other group of characters right now are in Toscana, and I love these characters so much. I love the dialogue. They're on a boat as well right now, so y'all already know that I'm having fun with that. But I actually have way more exciting updates, which is my mail came in. So my freebies finally arrived for my shop. So these are my winter freebies, so it'll either be a blue or a purple sword. And then these are my spring freebies. I don't want to open them quite yet because they are my spring freebies, but I thought I'd show you anyways what they look like. Very exciting. Love that. Also, I got this in the mail. This is from, what is the company called? This is from Sticky, that company right here. I bought my very first advent calendar and it's stickers, but it's like vintage stickers, and it came in this like really cute container. And I'm so excited about this. Now, I believe there's, oh goodness, how many days until, I don't actually know how many days until Christmas. Hang on. 13 days until Christmas, which means I have so many of these to open. These are so pretty. Oh my gosh, look at these. Are you kidding me? These are the envelopes that they come in. So, okay, so I have 12 to open right now. Goodness, it's a lot. I'm not gonna open all of them on camera because that would be kind of excessive, but I will open the first one. Oh, this is so pretty. I don't want to ruin it because I can reuse this like in my journal for a theme, like cut it up. Oh my gosh. Okay, stop. Look at the little animals. I love this. All right, I'm going to take and open 11 more of these and then I'll just show you a few of my favorites. I'm so excited. I wish I got this way earlier, but I'm excited that I still have some that I can do like every day. Okay, I'll get back to you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have opened 12 of these envelopes now, and these 3 are my absolute favorite of the ones that I've pulled so far. Oh my gosh. It's kind of hard to see. Let me hold it up to something else here. Got these little mushrooms. We have these moths here, which are stunning. And then my absolute favorite one, is this sparkly forest boy. Are you kidding me right now? I realize that my new addiction is probably going to be like stationery. Not that it ever wasn't, but something about recently, I have just been craving stickers, and there's so many like sticker subscriptions and stationery subscriptions that you can sign up to. And as much as I would love to do that now, I obviously have to wait until I move before I can actually like ship it to me. So that will be very dangerous for me. But I already have so many new stickers. Like, I can't wait to use these in my reading journal. It's gonna be so fun. Also, sort of related to the advent calendar, I also ordered like this vintage package from them as well. And this sticky note pad came in and it's absolutely spectacular. It came with like other stuff as well, but I think you've seen enough stationery for today. But I hope you enjoyed that little update. It was just me opening things. I have been working on shop stuff today. I'm switching from Squarespace to Spotify, and I really hate designing my website. It is my least favorite thing in the world, so I don't want to deal with it, but that's something that I need to do, unfortunately. So that's the task for today. I might get a little bit of reading done, but honestly, this reading vlog, there's not been much reading because I've been so busy with work and trying to get out videos, like I said last night. So that is my little update for now. And I will, I guess, get back to you when I actually read something. And I don't know when that will be. Be warned, I'm coming at you with a reading update in a reading vlog. What a surprise. I finished The Emperor of Nihonja and I have thoughts. I don't like dissing on my favorite series in the world because, like I said, it's my favorite series, okay? The nostalgia and the unmatched devotion I have for this series will negate any negativity about this book, okay? I love my time in the Ranger's Apprentice world. I adore these characters to death. That being said, it all started with the map debacle. I went down a rabbit hole because I realized that the last few books weren't on the map either, or weren't on the map in detail. And then I started analyzing the map, right? And looking at like this scale, and I realized that this map is actual dog shit, and that made me very sad. Also, there is an actual map of Nihonja I found on the internet. I didn't know it existed. I have never seen it before in my life until now. And same with the map of Hibernia. I was shocked. I was genuinely baffled when I discovered these maps that I had never seen before. So that has led me to my project in the upcoming year, which is to recreate / fix as best as I can the Ranger's Apprentice map, because there are some inconsistencies in John Flanagan's world, and I know they're there, okay? But like I said, nostalgia, undevoted love and affection for this book, we just look past those minor flaws. The map was the first thing that made me start analyzing this book a little bit too hard. And then I started finally pinpointing things about the book that I didn't like, and I didn't like the feeling of not liking things. The main issue in this book that never bothered me until this particular reread, but it makes sense and I'll get into it. We have two female characters that I both love and adore so much, and we have built them over 10 books to be very independent characters, very well, one of them is very level-headed, one of them is very smart. Well, they're both smart. You feel me? Okay, they're really strong, they're independent, love them. And in this book, they're quabbling over a man. And back my many other rereads, I never really found major issue with this. I was like, okay, no, like I get it. I can see where the miscommunication type of thing can be put and placed upon these characters. I'm like, okay, miscommunication trope. Don't love it, but I understand it. However, now that I have relationship experience and kind of took a second to think for like longer than 10 seconds, and the fact that I was annoyed every time these characters came on page, I did a little bit of self-reflection and I realized that that bothered me way more than I thought it ever would. The fact that these two characters spend the entire book acting very petty and unlike the characters that John Flanagan has built them up to be. This is a problem that people have felt years before me, and I just never really comprehended until this moment, which makes me a little sad because I don't want to start seeing the flaws in this perfect series, okay? I don't want to start seeing flaws and putting those flaws out on the internet, but I'm here to give a little honest review, okay? It's still 5 stars, okay? I love this book. I don't think it's my favorite anymore though. This used to be my absolute favorite. Creme de la creme. There is a character in here, the Emperor, in fact, Shigeru. I have a deep set appreciation for this man. I never truly thought much about Shigeru and his character, but this reread hit differently. I really love his character, and this is set in like a fictional Japan, but basically like Japan. Basically, the series after books 1 and books 2 turned less fantasy and more historical fiction, so those elements made total sense, but it was really interesting to pay attention. Now that I've, been to Japan, I'm gonna be that obnoxious person who has left the country once and can't shut up about it. But now that I have visited Japan, just getting to see the similarities while they're in Nihanja was really, really cool. Apparently, like, Nihan is the Japanese word for Japan, so this was a bit, as they say, on the nose. But in even more exciting news, other than me finishing this book, loving it as usual, I finally figured out what I'm gonna read for the rest of this vlog, okay? Time to celebrate. The unfortunate thing is that I stacked these books on the bottom of this book stack because I didn't think that I would be picking up these books. So let's dig into this book stack, shall we? I hate taking down my stack. It's so tall. Like, no, listen, I will show you the comparison. You feel me? Actually fall this time. Oh no. So, as you just saw, I really want to pick up and reread The Fifth Wave. I was watching the movie Divergent the other day. It was on Amazon Prime and my mom put it on and I was like, ooh, don't mind if I do. So I sat down to join her in watching it. And then after Divergent played, it gives you like the recommended movies. And The Fifth Wave was on there. And I watched the trailer and I know the movie's not very good. It made me really want to pick up the book because I remember the book being so good. And I really want to pick it up. So I think I'm gonna do that. And this is gonna be the last book that I read in this vlog. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up and start this a little bit tonight. And then I will give y'all an update tomorrow about my thoughts, my feelings, and all of that mumbo jumbo. I have just been working even more, so nothing has changed. It's just me being busy and stressed and reading when I can. I figured out though that a lot of my reading takes place at night, not because I prefer reading at night, because I was reading in the middle of the day in between me fighting for my life against my printer, and I realized that I actually really like reading during the day, and I just don't because I'm always working. By the time I like wind down, I'm like, okay, well, I guess now I can pick up a book since I'm not working. And now it's like my relaxation time. And I truly should just start scheduling like pockets of time in between work to pick up a book and read, because I think that would help me read more if I actually like told myself I could read during the day. I just don't, because I'm like, well, it's light outside and therefore it is my working hours and I cannot do anything fun while it is light outside. I must be working, which is so silly. It's a sci-fi book. We're following our main character, Cassie, short for Cassitopia, not for Cassandra, which is kind of lame in my opinion. I mean, come on now. Short for Cassandra, way better than Cassitopia. Screw the constellation. Aliens invade Earth, but in a really subtle wave. So there's 5 different waves that occur. I think one like knocks out electricity, one creates like major natural disasters, earthquakes. There's more than just earthquakes, I know. What are they called? Hurricanes, tsunamis, that's the word I was really looking for. And then I think the third one is like this massive disease. And then the 4th wave is apparently when aliens actually come to Earth, but they look like humans and they're really hard to tell apart. There's some major twists throughout the series, and I mean, I already know them, but I don't think that that's going to diminish my enjoyment of the series. I think I've read this one multiple times, but I think I've only read The Infinite Sea and The Last Star once. I could be wrong on that, but the details are a little fuzzy with these last couple of books. I'm really excited to dive back into the series, and I'll let you know if it holds up. I mean, I only read it like 3 years ago, so not much has changed, but maybe my reading tastes have changed a little bit. That is the premise of this book. Yeah, I'm just excited. I'll talk to you tomorrow, I guess. All right, I have quite the reading update to give y'all, but first I have a package that I'm really excited to open if I think it is what it is. All right, pull tab, let's go. Oh my gosh. See this? You're not ready. Hold on. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is absolutely stunning. Wow. This is the German edition of Fourth Wing. I ordered this quite a while ago, and I'm so happy it's finally in. And the map is different colors too. The German edition really pops off. I'm not gonna lie. It's so pretty. The map being in color is literally like the cherry on top. Let me see it next to my other book. Now they can stare at me together. So fun. Let's talk about some reading updates. So I did, in fact, finish The Fifth Wave because I was just having a really bad day yesterday. And I did basically nothing but read, and that's it. That's all I did. I love this book so much. It is such an easy sci-fi. I really love how short the chapters are, how short the sections are. The pacing of this book is literally top notch. I'm like, ooh, authors, take note. Like, this is the pacing your book needs to be at. The perspective switch at the perfect time where it keeps you intrigued enough to want to go back to that character, but then it jumps into the new character's POV and you're also just so gung-ho to figure out what goes down in their section. Stunning. I love when everything meshes together. The conclusion, so action-packed, so good. The writing also is very short, very easily digestible, and by short I mean like shorter sentences. Like, I don't know how to exactly describe it, but we are in the head of 16-year-old characters and they talk and act like 16-year-old characters, and it's so refreshing. Like, we're in a post-apocalyptic time, and yet we have like our main character like worried about like boys and developing like a crush on someone, and I'm like, girly, maybe focus on your survival. But it really checks out for like 16-year-old in high school. Total sense. We also get to see in the head of a 5-year-old, which is soul crushing a little bit because he is just a wee lad. He is so small, he is so tiny, and it's really sad seeing what kind of happens. And then I also read and finished The Infinite Sea all in one go. I basically finished The Fifth Wave and I was like, okay, nice. And then I picked up The Infinite Sea and I was like, okay, nice. It is quite a bit shorter. I think it's only like 300-ish pages. Yeah, it's just under 300 pages, so nothing too crazy. And like I said, it's a very fast-paced book, short chapters, short sections. But this book focuses less on our main character, Cassie, than it did in The Fifth Wave, which is good because Cassie's character kind of became a little insufferable. We get to follow a character that was introduced in The Fifth Wave and getting to see her perspective and her backstory and the interactions with other characters and where things lead. It's a very confusing book. This is my second time reading it, so I understood it like a little bit better, but it's still a little messy, but that didn't really take away my enjoyment of it. I think that there's some really interesting things being developed. I wish I remembered how the series ended because I can't. So I wish I could puzzle piece everything in this book into place, but like I said, I don't remember what happens in the last book. We keep getting scenarios where characters think they've figured out what's going on, and it's revealed that they're very much so wrong, but this is what's going on, but then that's even wrong. There's some betrayals. I love a solid betrayal. Maybe that's not like a good thing to like enjoy in a book, but it just adds a fun twist, a fun element. Characters you think you can trust, you can no longer trust. And that's kind of where we end with this book, is something happens to a character that makes them where you can't really trust them that much, and that's very exciting. And then I did start The Last Star. I didn't get that far into it. I am on page 21, chapter 6. Super short chapters, like 21 pages in, chapter 6. We are back in the head of Cassie though, and I think we follow all of the characters in this one. I'm really excited to see where this book goes. I know I've said I've read it before and I wish I remembered what went down in it, but I do not. But that's how my reading's going. Like I said, I had quite a bad day yesterday, so I just stayed in bed reading for most of the day. I could not be productive, but today I am being productive. I have so many videos to edit, so I will be glued to my chair all day. But I will be leaving the house one of these days. I want to go to the library tomorrow to just sit and read and probably finish The Last Star, so that'll be the end of the vlog. So I will give you the updates then. Hello. It is much later and I've still only edited, but I got a little package in the mail. I was really confused because I was like, the fuck did I order? Like I said, I've been having a rough week, so I was like, did I order something in my state of depression that I was unaware of? However, my parabatai, my best friend, Katie, sent me a book off my Amazon wish list, which made me smile so hard. She said, I know you're kind of going through it, but I always say there's nothing a new book can't fix, especially if it's a Brando Sando book. Love you, and I know things will get better. From your parabatai. She bought me Elantris, which is Brandon Sanderson's debut novel. This is on my 2024 TBR. This is the 10th anniversary edition on it, so it's got this beautiful orange and literally so obsessed with it. I know it's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but listen, I'm in cozy mode, but I just wanted to pop in and do this little quick update saying, I love you, Katie, and thank you so much for nabbing this off my wish list for me. It honestly made my day way better because like I said, I've been in the editing hole all day, but I am leaving my house tomorrow, going to the coffee shop with Lexi, having a little date, little catch-up date, so I'm really excited about that. I will see you tomorrow. Hello and welcome to me finally wrapping up this vlog. I have all the books that I read here and it's a lot more than I had realized. We're gonna talk about the other 3 later. I want to briefly discuss the rest of the 5th wave because I have some thoughts, I have some feelings because I did end up finishing The Last Star. I just need to get residue off of my book. It's driving me insane. Anyways, in The Last Star, things get even more confusing, but in the best way. We have 2 different theories presented to 2 different characters, and every character has their own belief about what's going on, and there's so much happening, and when it's finally revealed on what's going on, it's honestly insane. I will say though, most of the characters in this book were solid. However, our main character, Cassie, she got so bloody insufferable by the end of this series. And it started gradually because I remember complimenting her in the first book, being like, she's written like a 16-year-old. Honestly, kind of checks out. She's pining after this guy, whatever. But then that becomes her entire personality, and that really bothers me because we set her as a very strong, very independent character who has a good head on her shoulders. She realizes her priority, she has trust issues that gradually get dissolved with this guy, and then all of the independence, all the strength, all the intelligence just gets dragged right out the window. And I think that Rick Yancey just didn't know how to execute romance because there's another two characters that are kind of set up. Then one of the guys is flirting with multiple girls, which also makes no sense because we clearly have a cut and paste idea of who's supposed to be with who sort of situation, but it's just executed so poorly. And that's the other thing that was kind of done. Our character Zombie, he was one that we followed a lot more in the Infinite Sea, and I loved his character set up in the fifth wave. But then the author made him stupid, self-aware about him being stupid, even though he wasn't in the first book, just because he used to be a football player. So then suddenly he became a very tropey, like, oh, like, I'm just a silly, goofy football player, you know, haha. So some of his actions fit with the new Zombie that we got in the fifth wave, the one that set up, the one was a badass, the one that knew how to lead and knew how to handle his crew, to the one that was like, I'm just gonna make all these really stupid decisions and get a bunch of people killed. That was kind of interesting on how the characters changed by the last book in a way that I feel like they wouldn't have changed. However, I love how the series ended, other than one character I believe should have died because they didn't, and that bothered me. But other than that, I was pretty content. This, I will say, as a series as a whole, is way brutal for a YA series, and I kind of love it. Like, it was a lot more than I was expecting. Like, a lot more characters died than I initially anticipated, or at least initially remembered from the first read through. And characters die in the most heartbreaking of ways, but I love it. I really love the atmosphere in which this book was placed in. I think Rick Yancey did a pretty good job at showing the world after this invasion, and I loved all the settings we were at, from either the military base or the wilderness or like camping out in an abandoned building. It was really good. And yeah, the ending I'm really content with. I think it's a really good way to end a series, especially a series like this. I think that there's a lot of different ways that the series could have ended where it wasn't a very satisfying ending, but like I said, content with the ending other than one character that should have died. I was going back through my Goodreads and I think I had rated 5, 4, and 5 in terms of star rating. I don't think that any of those books are a 5-star. I do love The Fifth Wave, that's probably my favorite of the series, but that's even probably like a 4.5. And then I liked The Infinite Sea more than I did The Last Star, so it's probably 4.5, 4, and then maybe like a solid 3, just because one of the characters was so insufferable. Like I said, Cassie became insufferable. As for the other books I read, like I had mentioned, Namesake, I gave a solid 3 stars. I do plan on unhauling this book. I just think it was really average. I don't think I would really recommend this if you're looking for like a strong action-packed book with romance, because I think the romance aspect really kills this book. It's the same thing that happened in The Last Star. You have these strong characters, but then once they find love and find romance, they became weak and make all their decisions based on that instead of using their head. Maybe I just don't like overly emotional characters. Maybe that's my problem. I've heard that some people like The Daughter of the Pirate King more than they like Namesake, and then I've also heard vice versa, so I'm not sure if I'm going to give that other series a try, but this one is getting an unhaul from me. We've already discussed in detail my thoughts on Ranger's Apprentice, and I probably should have not done that update on my bed, because when I get passionate and I'm talking about something, I use my hands a lot, and since my tripod was on my bed, that entire clip is shaky. So I am sorry about that. That was probably the worst place to film an update about a book that I'm really passionate about. And then I also have, of course, The Wise Man's Fear, which is the thing that threw my whole TBR into the gutter, and I love it for it. Honestly, I had so much fun rereading this book, and I just can't wait until I feel the urge to reread The Name of the Wind again. It's so fun. It's such a fun book to take at a slow pace. Maybe not like 10 months slow. It was so lovely. I annotated the first half before remembering that I've already annotated my mass market of this book, and then I didn't really have anything to annotate except for like some final tabs near the end there, but it is what it is. Here are the 6 books that I ended up reading during this vlog. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, enjoyed seeing the other little bits and bobs that I did other than just read, and I hope that you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on the books, of course. As always, please do let me know what y'all are up to in terms of reading or life or whatever. I always love to chat with y'all in the comments. If you made it this far into this extremely long video, feel free to leave, is there like a UFO emoji? Leave a UFO or like an alien emoji in the comments. And as always, I really hope to see you in the next one. Toodles!